going to the park on 4th of July or Independence Day. Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Kumar from Authentic Journeys, and I'm an American citizen who's been living in India for 5 years, and I have not celebrated Independence Day in the U.S. for 5 years. So when I'm making this series, if I'm missing anything or forgetting anything, don't hesitate to leave some comments below for me. And things do change as culture changes, so there might be new activities or new things that people are doing that I'm not familiar with. So this video is specifically about going to the park or going to the beach on Independence Day and what happens during that event or the activity, or however you want to classify it. So I'm from upstate New York, near Syracuse, and so we have a lot of lakes. We have the Finger Lakes, and we also have the Great Lakes. If you're closer to Rochester or Oswego or Buffalo, there's Lake Erie and Ontario. That's it, Lake Ontario. I'm forgetting the geography. Isn't that horrible? So there's a lot of parks that are near these water bodies, as well as there's parks that are not near water bodies. But people may tend to go to the parks with water bodies during the summer because it's warmer, and many of these parks with water bodies might have a beach. So these are not ocean beaches; they're lake beaches. But usually people like to go there to relax, go swimming, and the water should be quite warm this time of year. So what happens, or how do you prepare yourself to go to one of these events? Well, I'm going to explain it from American family's point of view. How does an American family get ready to go to the park to celebrate 4th of July? Well, most people want to try to get there really early because some parks are really popular and they fill up really fast. So, for instance, I remember we used to go to Ithaca, New York for 4th of July. And I don't know how to pronounce the name of the park, but maybe I'll type it on the screen here. Tayagnik, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, there's a big waterfalls in that park, and it's a very popular park. And we used to go as early as like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was still getting pretty crowded, even at 10 o'clock in the morning. But I remember one year we got there at like 3 o'clock, and we couldn't even park our car inside the park. I don't remember if that park really has a lot of parking spots inside the park itself anyway, but we had to actually park way down the street and walk. And that is really horrible thing to do, especially when I tell you how much stuff that most people have to carry with them to these parks. So, like I said, first thing to prepare is make sure you get there early. So make sure your car is full of the stuff that I mentioned that you might need if you do want to have a full 4th of July celebration. And drive with enough time to get there so that you're there early enough to get a parking spot. You might want to ask your colleagues which are the parks that are more popular or less popular or whatever, and what time you should be at those parks to get a parking spot in the park as well as a good table. So you don't need much money to go to the park. I mean, to get into the park, you need money to buy all the stuff to prepare for the picnic, of course. But maybe between, say, $3 and $10 for parking. Obviously, if you park outside the park, I don't think you have to pay, but it's more inconvenient because you have to carry a lot of stuff into the park. The other thing is you want to make sure you get there early enough so you get a table. A lot of the state parks, I'm going to link up some videos here of me talking about what is a state park and things like that. But state parks actually have tables and picnic tables, and which is a table with chair, like a bench attached to it. Obviously, people do bring extra foldable chairs, and you can also find barbecues at these picnic sites. So there may be one picnic table per each barbecue, but not all the time. Sometimes there might be 2 picnic tables for a barbecue. Obviously, you have to bring your own charcoal to cook your food, but the barbecue is there if you get there early enough. If you don't, then you have to bring your own barbecue. So it gets to be a lot of stuff that you have to carry with you. So you need to have the charcoal. You might need a barbecue if you don't get there early enough, and you can bring some extra chairs. You can bring a blanket to sit on the ground. And then you need all your food stuff. So you need a cooler. You need ice to keep things cold. You need your drinks. You need your food. Maybe you prep some things in advance before you come, like hamburgers or hot dogs or chicken. If you grill chicken, that's not as common as hamburgers and hot dogs are. Cold salads like potato salad or macaroni salad or vegetable salads are common. Chips, dips, salsa, soda. For some people, beer. Beer is more common in the houses anyway, because if you visit someone's house for 4th of July, because you're not supposed to legally have beer open canisters in parks. I believe that's still the law. You do want to check with that. I don't recommend you take open canisters or beer into a state park, because you could get into trouble for that. I don't think that's legal. I don't think that's legal. Please don't do it. So these are a bunch of things that people take. The food side and preparing the food. Now, in addition, people, like I said, might take chairs and blankets. Now, if you have kids with you or you like to ride bikes, people would put a bike rack on the back of their car and stick their bikes on there. Or if they skateboard, or they have games like baseball or volleyball or frisbees or any other games. Horseshoes. I've seen people take horseshoe games with them to the park and play that as well. So obviously there's a lot of things that can go into the car. So you need a big car to take all these stuff with you. All these things with you. I'm getting too excited here thinking about it. And also you need mosquito repellent, because by the evening time, mosquitoes will come out. So people like to go to the park early and stay really late. So they'll come around 11 and they might 11 a.m. and they might leave only by 11 p.m. Why? Because of fireworks. Now, in the U.S., most places in the summertime, the sun doesn't set till 9, 9:30, 10, or get dark by that time. So you can't really set off the fireworks until it's dark. Now, in New York State, I believe either the entire state or most of the counties, it's illegal for individuals like you or me to set off fireworks. So it's done by the municipality or the town or the village or the city or whatever, the fire department of that area. So they set off the fireworks, and it's free to watch the fireworks. You don't have to pay anything extra for that. But if there's like a concert in the park or something like that, like they do in Boston, they have fireworks along the Charles River, and people camp out all day long. And on one side of Memorial Drive, they actually have, I think the Boston Symphony Orchestra plays. So obviously, if you want to see that and be actually in the concert area, you have to pay money to get in there and buy those tickets in advance. But otherwise, to see the fireworks, you don't have to pay anything for that particular part. But you have to pay for everything else. Like you have to pay for parking to get into the park. You have to pay for all the, charcoal, food stuff, game things you want to bring, whatever else you want to bring. Your sunscreen for the day and your mosquito repellent for the night. So obviously this has been quite a long video, but I hope it gives you some context of how to prepare to go to the park on 4th of July and other interesting tidbits. To actually close this, I want to say I've been actually, as I'm saying this, I remember celebrating 4th of July with some of my Indian friends who grew up in India. We did this actually. We did actually go to a park. We put everything in the car. It was a big production. We got to the park. Now, the one difference I found with my Indian friends at the park, they like to grill corn on the cob on the grill. I remember having that the first time. I thought it was the best thing ever. I'm wondering why more Americans, at least where I'm from in the U.S., we never did that. We boil corn on the stove and then put butter and salt on it. My Indian friends were putting it on the grill, grilling it with salt and lemon and chili pepper. Really good stuff. If you want to try something different, you can try that. If you're not Indian and you haven't had it before, it's really, it's actually pretty addicting after you have it the first time. So this has been Jennifer Kumar from Authentic Journeys in this really long video on how to prepare yourself to go to the park on Independence Day. See you in the next video.